Hi, and thanks for tuning in to our live radio show. Moments of Clarity with Tiffany will begin in just a few moments. Please stay tuned. Kindly take this opportunity to share this show on your platforms because change can only come when we stand together as one, especially when it comes to ending the stigma on mental health.
You are not alone, and help is out there.
Kids have mental health issues, and we also need to learn coping skills.
Let's get started and let the show begin. See you soon.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for watching. This is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I'm Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And we're going to have a great show talking about forgiveness and trauma, overcoming trauma, and how to persevere with those things from a certified coach and a survivor in so many ways. I'm going to let Ed in here so I can unmute and hear my radio start. I will formally introduce my guest. She's a good friend of mine, Chellie Grossman, and I will just wait for the radio cue because it's going to pop up any minute. But thanks for everyone to be here. We got Jason here, Chellie. Excited to see my sister Chellie speak. Lots of love from India. I love how we are global. Mental health is global, and we all need to look out for each other's mental health. But not only that, that mental health affects everyone. And I'm looking for a great show. Chellie, how you feeling?
I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Tiffany.
This is my honor.
This is a very special moment, so I appreciate sharing this space with you.
I am honored to be here with you to share this space. And don't forget, every time you say something like Moments of Clarity.
It's November 26th here in the City of Champions, premiering the new hit single Ballers Walk from the original Sound of Motown, Ozone. Also, check out the exclusive vending opportunities available live and virtually. Both are on sale now at ozonegoldradio.com. Check it out.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hello, and welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. Today, we're going to be discussing past trauma and how to move through it. Things from forgiveness, even child abuse, and how to forgive any trauma, pretty much, with a certified coach and so much more. I am so happy and honored to have her on the show. Before I formally introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed.
Hey, happy Thursday to everybody.
Happy Thursday. And how are you feeling, Ed?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Feeling pretty good. I actually got my booster shot yesterday, and my arm's a little sore, but other than that, no symptoms. Take some Tylenol, drink some water. You're going to start seeing my radio face in there pretty soon.
Good. Okay.
Because we all have a face for radio, right?
I do.
I said that in a group once. Everyone's like, because I had a different picture or whatever. I'm like, I definitely have a face for radio. And they're like, oh, you do. You're pretty. And I'm like, no, like it's a joke. Like a face for radio where you're not seen.
They call it a way homer. You get it on the way home.
They thought I was bragging or something weird. I'm like, no, I mean, I'm putting myself down. But, face for TV, face for radio, whatever. It's really funny. But you've been doing radio a long time. But you could be on camera, like now.
Is that an easy way to say I'm old?
No, experienced.
Long time.
A compliment. Like that you... Shut up.
Only since 98. I'm not gonna say what age I was when I get into it. So
anyway, you give me good advice and you've helped me along the way, so that's what I meant. Like I've been doing psychology a long time, but that makes me an expert. So
you bet.
That's what I meant. Not yet. You're old. I'll tell you that in about 20 years and be like, now you're old. Thanks for being here, Ed.
You bet.
So when you guys call in and call 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. And when you do, please say hi to Ed. And you're welcome to call in, leave chats on the live. We're on youtube.live or youtube.com/MOC with Tiffany, on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany, and LinkedIn Live, Tiffany Werner, and Facebook on several different stations, live virtually, but also on air. And you can find out more on mocwithtiffany.com on what platforms to watch. Anyway, my beautiful guest here is a professional coach certified with ACC credentials, which means associate coaching credentials through the International Coaching Federation. And she helps people understand their purpose and passion so they can lead meaningful lives. And she helps people tune into their intuition, learn to trust themselves, and unleash their voices so that they can be heard and seen. Many people, she says, are conditioned at playing life small, and that we use our energy to remain in cycles of ineffective patterns that don't serve our lives. Life happens and feelings of fear, anxiety, and depression can be triggered in one event. And I totally agree. But my guest helps recognize conditioned behaviors, remove emotional blocks that have held them back, and find opportunities of growth. And she says shifting one's energy encourages changes in mindset, health, wellness, and life. And she does so much more, but let me just let her tell you a little bit more about herself. Welcome to Moments of Clarity, Chellie Grossman.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And I just want to thank Ed for his part in making this wonderful show happen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Thanks, Ed. We all love Ed.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, Chellie, tell us a little bit about how this all started. I mean, remember, you get a bell when you say moments of clarity, and people are welcome to call in also at 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340.
So, I had not one moment of clarity, but many moments of clarity. And I think my realization was that each moment of clarity builds on the next. But I think my first moment of clarity was when I was 7 years old. And thank you, Tiffany.
And stop saying it so I can listen to your story. Maybe I should change it to sometimes you say moments of clarity, you get a bell every time. Please continue. I'm sorry.
I think my first realization
There you go.
was when I was 7 years old, and I had just started being molested by my brother, and I spoke up right that very first time, because it wasn't a one time thing. It went on for years. And prior to that, I was happy and I was peaceful and I loved life and I loved my brother and my parents. And I spoke up because I thought that's the right thing to do. And I went to my mom and I told her what was happening. And she said, "Go back to sleep. It was just a dream." But it wasn't a dream. It was a nightmare. And the nightmare wasn't that it was happening. It was that I wasn't believed and I wasn't trusted and I wasn't protected. And the conditioning there started. So it wasn't just the abuse. It was about the conditioning of retelling my story and retelling my story for years. So not just in that moment. And what I realized was that that was just part of it. And I was told over and over for many years that my story didn't exist and my truth wasn't true. And I subsequently grew up in a very dysfunctional house. I had a father who struggled with alcohol and my mother who didn't have obviously very good skills. And my brother grew up as with alcoholism and drugs. My mother used to say that dysfunction is a form of function. So I don't believe that it is a healthy way to live, but it was a way that I was conditioned. But part of what made that all ripe for happening was that at 5 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And epilepsy in the 70s, because I am that old, epilepsy in the 70s was something that was completely unacceptable. And I was told that I was stupid and retarded and kind of pushed away from the mainstream of the family. And it made me vulnerable to the abuses that were happening. So it was not just the sexual abuse, it was also physical abuse that I endured. And even while experiencing all of this physical, emotional, sexual abuse, I also, for some reason, I also held in my heart that something must have happened to my brother to hurt me in such a profound way. I must have been about 9 years old when I started having this belief, because I didn't think that he would hurt me because he loved me. And I started holding in my heart forgiveness. And I don't know where I got that from. And I also started feeling like there was something that I needed to forgive from my mom as well. So I didn't hold hate. I held forgiveness, which I think was kind of unique than maybe other people's journeys, because there was a lot of hate that other people that I've spoken to have had. But I have almost always held forgiveness. I grew up feeling angry and also wanting to be part of my family, and also holding that that tender spot, wanting to be included, and I never felt like I was included. So I knew that there was something that happened to each one of them. In my heart, I understood that. And later on, many years later, I ended up becoming engaged to a person who was my brother's best friend, who was on a healing journey from alcohol. And they went on retreat for AA. And he said, I'm not supposed to divulge this information, but I will. And he said, your brother admitted to all of the abuse in this.
He admitted to what?
He admitted to the sexual abuse. So
To his
all of
best friend?
to his best friend, who was at the time my fiance, and all of the stories that were told to me, you know, in my childhood and in my teen years, it was conditioned to me that this didn't happen. All of a sudden, it was like this great big aha, you know,
Moment of clarity.
it was a moment of clarity that this happened.
It actually happened, and you weren't going crazy, quote unquote, and that your mom was like, it's just a bad dream. Like, but it was real.
It was real.
And I'm surprised to hear that. Not many predators, so to speak, admit that they did that. But not many.
Yeah, he admitted it to his best friend. He couldn't admit it to me because of the shame and the guilt and the sadness.
Mhm.
And that was the same thing that I was carrying in my heart, shame and guilt and sadness, because no one heard me. My
Right.
voice, my parts of my body were taken, and my voice was taken. And now I could speak. Now I was able to say, I have proof. I'm going to be heard. I'm going to live my life and be heard. And I was, but I didn't know how to speak in a soft way where I could be heard. I spoke in an angry way because I wasn't heard for so many years. And it took me a while to be able to refine that.
It's really common when it's a survivor of sexual abuse or incest, and not only feeling that undeserved, I'm going to highlight that, shame and guilt, especially as a child, but to go to someone that protected you, like a parent, an adult, and having them shove it under the rug and say that didn't really happen, and not feeling validated by the people that were supposed to be there to protect you, must have confused you so much at the time. And not only that, you didn't know who you could tell who to trust, because it was your loved ones that were harming you and not being there.
Absolutely. And I had feelings of low self-esteem, low self-worth. And then I fast forward to many years later, and I was in a horrific car accident where I almost lost my life. And this actually all ties in. And I was trapped in the car for 5 hours in
Oh my
27 degrees.
goodness.
Yeah, in 27 degrees.
27-degree weather, but trapped in the car, like upside down, or
No, it was just forward facing oncoming traffic for 5 hours in 27 degrees with the windows blown out. And when I got home, the only person that was there for me was my 15-year-old daughter. So this is many years later, and my parents didn't show up for me. I had just moved to a different state, so my friends didn't show up for me. I had no support whatsoever. And I used the accident as a microcosm to look at all of the invalidations and lack of support in my life. And I had no support growing up with the abuse and the neglect. And all of a sudden, this accident happened, and all of what I felt when I was growing up happened again in a very big way. And my mother and I had to deal with that because she had never apologized to me. And I always, going back to that space of forgiveness, I always wanted her to acknowledge it. I always wanted to be part of her life, and I always
Did you
wanted
tell her that the best friend admitted and said it, and she still didn't say, "I'm sorry"? So you were
Yes.
looking for that validation, and people owning up and saying, like, whether even if she was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know better, but I should have been there for you," or just owning up and just validating your feelings. It's very important. And we're gonna pause there for a second. It's time for our first break. But what a powerful story. I want to see how you got out of that car too. 27-degree weather, man. But you're up in Pennsylvania. You were up there back then too. Is that
I was in New Jersey, and I am currently in North Carolina.
North Carolina?
Mhm.
And that mixed up with someone else though. But still cold weather. But New Jersey can get really cold.
Mhm.
Anyway, what a powerful story. Look at where you are now, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. And if you want to call in, 866-826-1340. And we'll be back in just a moment. Please stay tuned.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, my name is Lucy Lopes, and I'm a real estate agent that supports ending the stigma on mental health with Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. I am also passionate about helping you buy or sell your home. With times being so difficult, I'm here to help. Contact me at lucylopes.com. That's LUCYLOPES.com. Let me assist you through this pandemic and know that you are not alone.
If you're a show host, gamer, live streamer, podcast host, or radio show host that would like your message to get out and reach up to 30 platforms, then there's an affordable way to do that. It's called Restream. Restream makes it easy to broadcast professional live videos from your browser to multiple social platforms at once. Start your live show with guests, brand it with logos and overlays, and create an interactive experience for your audience. Learn more at Restream.io and mention Moments of Clarity for special offers.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Are you looking for a great book? If you like to root for the underdog, Joe Potosi's book is a book for you. A real American Odyssey that will grab your attention with its fast-moving narrative. You won't be able to put this masterpiece down. When the Dust Settled by Joe Potosi. Go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Zulin Press.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, and thanks for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. Today, we're talking about the power of forgiveness from someone that has overcome childhood sexual abuse from her brother and not feeling heard, and trying to tell her mom and having them brush it under the rug. And so many voices and survivors are not heard. And if you're watching virtually, some people they survive. We're not always healed, but we can be healed, but it's not something we forget. But the power of forgiveness is a strength within us, not a weakness, but a strength that helps us unleash anger and things like that, and helps us live life to the fullest potential. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Chellie Grossman.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to back up for a moment and just say that all of these abuses, these different abuses, actually made me a people pleaser. So I wanted to fit in so desperately, and I needed to be needed so desperately that I would just help everyone, because that's where my sense of self-worth came from. And anyone who needed anything, I was there, and I put myself last almost all the time.
That's a pretty common from abuse. Let's show some love for people watching virtually really quick. A Facebook user, she said, not many do admit this is a blessing for you. She also says, I have felt the angry way. It does take a while to redefine that good awareness. And someone else on Facebook, that's beautiful. You've taken that to look at everything. I've felt that I always wanted that validation that I've never gotten. And someone says, I am from PA. So, okay, there's the mix up. Sorry. That must be Leslie. Hi. Serious mix up. Chellie has a powerful story. For sure. Powerful share awareness and strength to go in and become aware of what we think we need to learn and be this for yourself. Not always will those that bleed on us with their repeated cycles acknowledge. So if you got this, this is profound.
Thank you. That's very wise. Thank you.
And Jason from India says, I agree with you, Tiffany. Chellie has a powerful story. So if you're listening on the radio, these are people that are just watching through, not just, they're on from YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. And Joe Pitosi on LinkedIn says, thanks for joining us today. Invite your friends to watch the show. Call in with comments or questions. And I welcome callers, definitely. 866-826-1340. 866-826-1340. And I kind of assumed when you said Texas, but it's Angel from Texas. And yes, Joe Potosi on LinkedIn says forgiveness can be the most liberating thing ever in one's life. You got a lot of support on here, Chellie. So
Thank you.
let's get back to your story. So 27-degree weather, 5 hours. No one came to your rescue.
Yeah, well, the person I was angry at most was my mother again.
Mm-hmm.
So it went back to my mother. She wasn't there for me when I needed her when I was younger, and she wasn't there for me again when I needed her in the accident. I felt completely unsupported and unprotected, and I needed surgery probably, I think, about 10 months later, and I ended up hiring a stranger in my community to take me for surgery, and then another person to take me for physical therapy. And I just felt completely unsupported. Not only that, but my daughter was unsupported. And this whole part of me that I thought I had dealt with just bubbled up again. All of this anger that I thought I had, put aside and moved on with my life was there full front and center, and I didn't deal with any of it. But I have to say, I grew up with my brother as my best friend because I did hold forgiveness for him, because I believed in my heart that he was hurt in much the same way that I was by someone, and I don't know whom. But I had this intense anger from my mom. And it was during my healing after the accident that I didn't need to forgive her as much as I needed to heal myself.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to release the anger inside of me. And the way I did that was I learned how to breathe through my pain I got on a yoga mat and I cried. So people think about yoga as doing the physical practice. I got on my yoga mat and I allowed myself one safe space to cry and to feel and to breathe and to move. And all of that energy, because anger and shame and doubt and everything that we feel, it's all energy. And all of that energy I allowed to flow because I was holding it inside of me and it was feeling toxic inside of me. And when I allowed it to flow and to move, and when I allowed my body to grieve,
There's the key.
yeah, when I allowed myself to grieve little me and to hold space for little me who
The
wasn't
child within.
yes, then I was able to heal me.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was able to heal me, I was able to heal the relationship with my mother. But I had to heal me first. And I was never used to putting me first. I was used to putting me last.
Yeah, and that's so important to put ourselves first, heal first, because a lot of times we brush things under the rug, and things will always resurface later if we don't heal ourselves. We have a caller. Joe. Hello, Joe. Welcome to Moments of Clarity. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Chellie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
need to say I need to say that you may never fully get the full scope of like sharing your story to people you're helping. But I just want to encourage you to continue to share your story because first of all, it's a miracle. It's amazing that you are where you are today and you relate to people in such a unique way. If that makes any sense. And for me in particular, when you mentioned your brother being like a best friend, for me it was my sister. Not only a best friend, but my hero. And to this day, um, there's nobody like her in the entire world. I
Yeah.
can confide in her like no other, and it's an amazing thing. And it's okay. I've discovered for myself from time to time when I feel like my batteries are running low, or sometimes I have to step back and I get overwhelmed with some things, whatever it is, to let it out. Because as a man, we like to hold stuff in. You got to be macho, and you can't, that adage, men ain't supposed to cry, men ain't supposed to have feelings, etc. But I'm just the opposite, and I don't care who likes it or don't like it. I discovered by letting those things out is a cleansing thing for me. Thanks again for coming on, Tiffany. Thanks again to you for always educating us through your wonderful guests and helping people every day, breaking the stigma on mental health.
It's the courage of the guests that really make the show more powerful, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
Yeah,
and you see how not alone we are. It's crazy that we're not.
We're not. Joe, thank you so much for sharing that. And I want to applaud you for being so brave and admitting that you need to cry and you need to let it out, because more men need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's sad that you have to say it like that too, like men. But I think
yeah,
more males are coming out anyway. Joe's the author of this book, When the Dust Settled, because he had a very hard childhood as well, and it award nominated. I think it was rigged, but he should have won this author elite award this year. But I'm really proud of him. And but the more that we talk, right, about our past,
right.
the more we heal, right?
Right. And, I've shared with you, Tiffany, I've won in so many other ways. And, maybe I should have clarified, I don't just go off the handle and cry randomly or whatever. But my kids, for example, my two sons have seen me cry when their grandmother passed away. I try to be strong for them, and I've talked to you about this, Tiffany. And, her son, and everyone was really upset. But after a while, I couldn't hold it in anymore. And, I just let it out, just let go of it, and I'm glad I did. And if I could say one more thing too, and maybe Chellie can relate to this. For me, holding unforgiveness aside for so long, for me, manifested itself in extremely unhealthy patterns in life. Among one was pushing people away, not trusting people, even the ones that cared most for me. And there was a time in my life where I would self-medicate to try to cover up the hurt and the pain and to forget about everything, which is never good. But therapy was the answer. And being able to open up and confide in the individual and lay everything out on the table, little by little, to reach out for help, to learn the tools I needed to function as a man, a husband, a father, a productive person in society, instead of my biggest fear of becoming a menace of society. It was a turning point for me, my moment of clarity. So thank you again, Chellie, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for calling in, Joe, and for sharing and being so honest and transparent. It means a lot because, as I always say, we're not alone. And please have a wonderful day. And thanks for being here and for supporting the show. It means a lot. And take care. A lot of people have come a long way. So we have to forgive ourselves, forgive the people that have hurt us. But a lot of times, like what Joe was saying, self-medicating, a lot of people, we all have to forgive how we react to our situation, because how we react to situations define our character. But we don't always act and react the way we want to right away, because, you're in shock, you're in anger, grief and loss, denial, bargaining, anger, depression, acceptance. And it's not just when we lose a loved one, like we're grieving. We could grieve the loss of our childhood, the loss of our innocence, the loss of a job, the loss of a marriage, a divorce, anything. And we could be angry. That takes a lot out of us. And then depressed about it, of course. But the acceptance part is more about forgiveness and just accepting that bad things happen to good people, and how are we going to live our lives from it? What did we learn from it? What are we going to do about it? That kind of thing. And that's powerful stuff, and a lot of support. And love the callers. Callers are welcome to call in again, 866-826-1340, 866-826-1340. But Chellie, you know what? It's time for our second break already, and we'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment. So please stay tuned.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If you are like most people, you worry with the financial challenges you face today. How do you protect your family from financial ruin? How will you reduce your liabilities and get out of debt sooner? And how can you deal effectively with the constant changes in your job, your career, and your business? Overcoming your financial challenges is like building a house.
You must build from the ground up. You must learn how to make more money, save more money, grow your money, and protect your money. Forever Forward Financial specializes in teaching you these 4 basic money skills so you can achieve your dreams and end your worry. Call us today and schedule your complimentary, no obligation meeting to discuss your needs and concerns. Call Scott Bigley at 727-422-7761.
Are you having trouble staying sober after you've completed rehab and need a positive environment to help you continue sobriety? At Real Recovery Sober Living, we strive in both community and environment for men in early sobriety to help support you while in early recovery. For only $750 a month, we cover everything you need when it comes to a safe, clean, and accountable environment necessary for success in sobriety. Check out our website at realrecoveryfl.com. That's realrecoveryfl.com. We have 6 locations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Brandon, North Tampa, and Bradenton, because everyone deserves a quality, sober living.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hi, and welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. My name's Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor and your host. And today we've had such a powerful story from a journey from someone that's just come such a long way of forgiveness, but now as a certified coach and has a coaching company called Twisted Tree Coaching. And welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Chellie Grossman.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So, Chellie, we've got just a little bit of time left. So I want to learn more about Twisted Tree Coaching.
So thank you so much. Twisted Tree Coaching was created because I believe I had a very unique kind of winding journey to getting here. So I like to work with people who have unique and challenging journeys and help them unwind all of that with support and encouragement and compassion. I help people find their power and create passion and purpose to their stories so they can live a meaningful life. Many people feel disempowered with such very big stories that they have. And this is only part of my story. It's a very small snippet, but it can sound like a lot, and other people have equally large stories. And I want to help them learn how to share their stories, own them, and not feel shame and not feel guilt, and be able to speak their truth and learn how to move toward their goals. And part of what I learned in my life is in order for me to speak my truth, I need to know who I am and what my core values are. So part of my coaching includes helping other people understand their core values, because when you don't know who you are, it's really hard to get to your goals. And when you do realize who you are, your goals are more accessible. So I like to help people understand who they are and help them get to their goals.
You're so right on that. If our goals are blocking us, and fear and can't and being less mindful and having past hurts block us and give us fear, thinking that we aren't worthy and things of that nature, it's going to stop us from reaching our full potential in life and live with regrets. And no one wants to live with regret. I think that's the worst thing to live with, is a
Yeah.
regret, especially undeserved. And you also do things such as nonprofit organization, like you're a fundraiser nonprofit for 20 years and a founding board member for healthcare nonprofit, and giving to the community is one of your things. And you've served on several boards in North Carolina and California, and you've been a former guardian ad litem, and you also have a bachelor's in social work, but a certified coach as well.
Yes, and I wear many different hats.
It seems so. I like your hat, so.
Thank you. And I love to give back. I love to, give back to people and to the community, because service, it goes back to core values. Service is part of my core values. It's who I am. It's who I've always been. And now I'm taking that core value of service and I'm turning it into my coaching practice, and I'm helping people. I'm helping to serve one person at a time. But part of my coaching practice is going to serve people with disabilities. So I'm going to be able to serve them pro bono. If they can't afford, I will be making myself available to people who
Very
need it.
kind of you.
Who need it.
Look, if you're good at something, never do it for free. So says
No,
the Joker from The Dark Knight.
no, but I am a person with disabilities, with challenges, and I needed support. And when I didn't have it, there was nobody there.
I was kind of
So,
kidding, but
yeah, no, I know. So I will be, serving that community, so that way there is always support available. That doesn't mean like 100 people, but on a quarterly basis, I'm going to be out
just
there
make
serving.
sure that you don't burn yourself out. A lot of us in the helping profession, we really, really want to help. And if we could just live for free and help people for free, we would, you know. So tell
No.
Twisted Tree Coaching, you can find it at twistedtreecoaching.com, and that's Chellee's website. And how can someone hire you?
Oh, go to my website and have a discovery call to see if they're right for coaching, because not everybody is, right for coaching at this time. So we can have a discovery call to, just talk about that. And they can reach me at Chellie at twistedtreecoaching.com.
For some reason, that's transparent. That was supposed to be a banner for watching. If you're watching virtual, I didn't realize it was just going to be. That kind of looked cool, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. It looks really awesome.
There's her logo. And twistedtreecoaching.com, and it's Chellie Grossman. Chellie, by the way, if you're trying to look her up and you're driving in your car, it's Chellie, not like
because I have
a shell, like a seashell, but it's a CH instead of an SH. Just letting the radio listeners know.
Yeah. I just do need to go for a minute and let everyone know that my mother and I did come to a space of forgiveness.
Oh, nice.
I think it's really important for everyone to know that. So after I forgave myself, my mother and I found a way to connect and love, and she apologized for every single thing I needed to hear. She did
You
it.
finally got your validation, huh?
Finally got it.
How did you get that out of her?
I tell you what, I wasn't loud. I wasn't abrasive. I told her specifically what I needed. And it took a little while, but I said it over and over again. And she said exactly.
That's important. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, I repetition is important. And she said exactly the words I needed, including all the I love you, and I didn't have the skills, and I'm sorry. And I had read a book, Healing the Inner Child by Thich Nhat Hanh. And my process of forgiveness came from hearing what my mom said and also understanding that she went through trauma of her own. And when I understood all of the trauma that she went through, I had so much compassion in my heart for her.
It's very important. Like sometimes people just don't know what we need, and it's important to ask. And it's okay to ask, and it's okay to not be okay, but most people at least, are not psychic. So we have to say, my feelings were hurt. This is what happened, and I need this from you. And most of the time, if they're worthy of our time from moving forward, they would say, I didn't even realize and I didn't know better, and they will give the validation that you need. If they don't, then sayonara, adios, peace out, whatever you want to say, but don't let the door hit you on the way out. Slam. People that really care sometimes don't understand what they've done and what we're holding on to. Effective communication and having our feelings validated and saying, this is what I need and this is how I was hurt. And if they're receptive to that, then you can build a beautiful relationship. If they get defensive and don't want to own up to it, then I personally, in my opinion, don't think that it's a big deal removing toxic people from our lives, because you'll never get that from them. And then on top of that, they're capable of doing that over and over and over again. But to give that chance and to speak up can be very powerful. And I'm glad that happened. And I'm glad that you wrapped that up and came back and was able to share with your mom and with us that, that you did get that validation.
Yeah. Thank you. I
Your
want you
little
to
love. Sean Klinkhaber says, I hope Chellie comes on again. This is amazing. Facebook user says, this feels really good to my soul. Authenticity helps us stay present. On YouTube, what a wonderful, informative show.
So anyone who signs up on my website for my newsletter will get a fantastic PDF that's, I think, 18-page PDF on forgivegness. So please go to my website and sign up. And
website is twistedtreecoaching.com. twistedtreecoaching.com. All one word. And that's Chellie Grossman. That's what the Chellie Grossman. Chellie, I am so grateful to have you on the show and for everything that you've discussed. Sometimes we really need to hear this stuff too, and for your transparency and everything and how you're helping so many. And if you're looking for coaching and for forgiveness, I highly recommend you look Chellie up, have a consultation, make sure it's a right fit, just like she said, and hire her, because sometimes it's just kind of one of those good fits, and affordable, as well as not through insurance and things like that too. And she's very talented. It gives wonderful advice, as well as been through many things healing herself. And sometimes the best people that can coach us through life are the ones that have gone through things and healed. And so I recommend Chellie very highly. And thank you so much for being a guest on Moments of Clarity. We only have 3 minutes left, so I'm going to have to wrap up. Chellie, what an honor, and I hope you do come back. And everyone, thank you so much for your support and for watching and tuning in. We'll be on tomorrow with a very powerful guest as well, Kirkpatrick Miller, who has wonderful insight. Every Thursday, Friday, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, ending the stigma on mental health. Please be kind to yourself and to a stranger. You never know what they're going through. And thanks for your support on the team and see you tomorrow.
Don't put yourself down, time for a change. Believe in yourself, time to rearrange. Be your best friend, bring hope to your day. Lose your critic, get out of your way. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity. Now I get it, moments of clarity. To yourself be kind, it will please your mind. Find your joy, trust in you. Put in the time, you'll see how you grow. Many kinds of love you get to define. Find self-love, your soul will align. Now it clicks, moments of clarity. Now I hear moments of clarity.